It is our last Sunday in June. We are acting like we know what's going on. We didn't have our mic in front of our face, but that tells you that it is time to start getting ready to do these best ball drafts. We have July, we have August, but today, let's do something a little different. Draftkings is offering a very special tournament. Let's do that. Let's get into it right now. I'm so used to having my microphone just here for me, but I've been doing some work and research and writing, and my microphone was just like way over to the side. So that was such a great start, as it always is here on a Sunday Sickos morning. We got Josh in the chat. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Toro, Kevin, Tyler. We're all hanging out here today on Sunday Sickos, and I think we should do something a little bit different. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's do a DraftKings draft. Like I was saying earlier, it is only for the first 4 weeks of the season. Let's present our screen now. Let's jump into it because it might take a few minutes to fill. So I want to make sure that we can show it and get into it while we're waiting. I'm just going to do this little guy right here. So if you click on the NFL tab, click on best ball, I believe, or actually I think it's not on the best ball tab. I usually do this one on the mobile app, so I have to find it because it has its own slate on the mobile app. So we got to find it over here on the DK regular streets. Here it is right here. So we're going to do the $8 one. It's the September Survivor Special, right? Best Ball Survivor Special. So essentially, the final round is week 4. The first 2 rounds are where you try to advance through. Week 3 is a playoff week. Week 4 is a playoff week. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into this right now, and we'll go over that again real quick. But let's jump in. Yeah, we'll just use some crowns. That's fine. So we need 9 more people on this. This is the $8 one. We're going to jump into this. But it is for just the first 4 weeks of the season. So bye weeks are not a thing on this. We don't have to worry about that. I think there's probably going to be people that are chasing guys up that shouldn't be in this, or you shouldn't be drafting as high in this particular tournament. Jonathan Brooks, we all know where he goes in a regular tournament. Probably shouldn't be grabbing Jonathan Brooks in this particular tournament, is what I would say. Or grab him later. What's going on, Tyler? Good morning, ATX. So this is a tournament that I'm excited to fire some bullets into. We get that instant gratification almost, right? Where you're getting your payout right at the end of September. You can win a tournament by September, and you're feeling good about yourself by the end of the season if you make some money in this. Let's get some music going. It's not a Sunday morning if we don't have music going. So let's start. We'll go backwards through the playlist. Oh my God, it's always so loud. It is always so loud. They never start us at our preferred volume. They just reset everything. Morning, Versier. DraftKings does this thing where it doesn't like to auto update. So we need 7 more for this contest. If we do this quick enough, we'll jump into one of the Underdog, whatever dog it is, that we're doing the 10, 15, and 20-second clocks. So if we can get this filled quick enough, we'll run through, we'll do one of those, but this is going to have to get filled relatively quick. This is only $8. And again, the first 2 weeks are the regular weeks. Let's look through the contest details while we're waiting. And the rules and scoring. So it's the normal scoring stuff. Pick clock, all this good stuff. Auto drafts, yes. We still have COVID-19 policies. And they're showing the wrong thing. They're showing the wrong thing on this. So that's good. But trust me when I tell you that we want to be looking. It's the first 2 weeks are the regular season. You advance out of that pod. The 3rd week is a playoff week. 4th week is the finals. So I have the NFL week 4 schedule pulled up. It's a live final, Ben. So if you're familiar with the DK live finals, you can win your seat to a live final for that. I don't know the exact details on the date or anything like that off the top of my head, but if you're trying to go to a live final, that's what those are. That's what a King of the Desert is. Why am I getting pinged on my phone? So yeah, let's get this filled. Let's get 7 more, maybe less, 6 more entries into this tournament and run through. Don't be scared. It's an $8 tournament. There's 1 seat available because obviously whatever team I draft is going to advance. So you have a 1 in 11 shot of advancing to week 3 because I've already claimed one of those seats, which means that you're not allowed to have the seat that I'm claiming. And then we're going to move to a week 3 playoff, which will be in different pods once you advance that seat. And then you're going to win your week 3 and I'm going to win my week 3. And we're going to reconverge on week 4. You can come in second place on that one. I'm fine with that, but I'm going to take first overall and win all of the money, right? So does it actually show what we're getting paid out here? We probably have to go back to the main page for that, which we can probably do, right? Let's do that. So it's a $50,000 total prize pool, which is quite nice. Let's try to click it on this one and maybe we'll get some more info. I would like for DK to make this a little more accessible in terms of what we're playing for. I did look at this on mobile earlier, and I think you could see it on mobile, so that's fine. No biggie, but get in this tournament, and let's draft for weeks 1 through 4. Don't make a liar out of me. Don't make me have to do a different tournament. Nobody wants that. We need 5 more in this tournament. Jump in. So I see people saying that they don't see the tournament. If you're looking for it on mobile, this is a big DK problem. They don't have it listed in the regular. Let me pull it up on my phone just so I can tell you exactly how to do it if you're looking for it on mobile, and then we'll go through how to do it on regular. But if you're looking for it on mobile, what you have to do is you go to your regular lobby tab, you click on NFL, click on best ball, and it's a different slate. So it's the Thursday, it's the week 1 to 4 tournament. And then there's 2 tournaments that pop up. There's the $8, there's the $15. We're in the $8. So yeah, it's under the NFL tab on mobile. There you go, ATX, you found it. So if anyone's looking for it there, that's where it is. And then on desktop, you just have to scroll down in the lobby till you see September Survivor Special. And it's 10K to first for this tournament, by the way, now that I'm looking at it on mobile. So get yourself a cool $10,000 just to win the first 4 weeks of the DK tournament. I'm going to be firing in a few of these. I'm not going to max it by any means. And I'll probably fire a few of the $15 ones as well. It's a little bit fun, a little bit different, a little more instant gratification if you do well. The bye-week strategy stuff goes out the window, but it does change the player pool. And that's what we're going to talk through as we do it. They have Taysom as a quarterback in this. That I did not notice when I was drafting. So that's interesting. Because Taysom as a tight end on Draftkings has been great. We've loved that. So I think we only need 3 more. So if you want to draft on stream today in a different tournament, and while we're doing that, I'm going to read through the week 4 matchups because, week 4 is all that matters, as we usually say in best ball. So it's Cowboys, Giants, Bengals, Panthers, Saints, Falcons, Jags, Texans, Broncos, Jets, Vikings, Packers. Vikings, Packers just finds their way to be in every final of every tournament that there is. But it's Vikings, Packers for week 4. Steelers, Colts, Rams, Bears, Eagles, Bucks, Patriots, 49ers, Commanders, Cardinals, Chiefs, Chargers, Browns, Raiders, Bills, Ravens. That's fun. Titans, Dolphins. Could be fun. I could make the Titans a lot more fun. And Seahawks and Lions is our Monday night game that week. There's 2 Monday night games. There's 2 Monday night games that week. Are we doing 2 Monday night games a lot? No, just happens to be 2 Monday night games on week 4. So you get a 7:30 and an 8:15 game on Sunday, September 30th. Interesting. B. Curtis saying that he really likes Miami in this contest. We got Josh in. Are we game stacking? I'm going to try to game stack a little bit. It's going to have to be me looking at the schedule as we draft through it, because obviously I don't have week 4 memorized by any means, except for Vikings. Except we will not forget that it's Vikings Packers. We need 2 more people to fill this contest. So $8, $10K to first. And you can be in this contest with us. We can draft on stream, do something different, get into a fun tournament that we're going to be drafting. Yeah, I'm not super enthralled by the double. Kevin says he's maybe an unpopular opinion, but I hate the double Monday night games. Channel flipping is for Sundays. I agree. The only reason why I will be okay with it is I like 2-game slate DFS. My favorite contest in DFS, and it's not as big as it used to be because they started coming out with the showdown slates, which I'm not a huge fan of showdown personally, but the Sunday night, Monday night primetime slate, circa 2014. Oh God, I'm old. I'm so old. Those were the best slates. Just click Calvin Johnson and pray. Is what it was back then. Is what it was. Why am I getting a Ring doorbell notification? Somebody sees dogs in the street, which is usually what those Ring doorbell notifications are. So yeah, I used to love those slates. We need one more. $8, guys. $8 to draft in a fun tournament. Yeah, DFS is all that makes it tolerable. I mean, those will be fun. What were those? I already forget what the games were. But a Titans, Dolphins, Seahawks, Lions 2-game slate where we're going to have to convince ourselves to play Will Levis, right? Because everyone's going to want to play every other quarterback in this. Everyone's going to want to play the other 3. So we're going to get reduced. I'm giving you week 4 DFS breakdown right now. Everyone's going to want to play Goff, Tua, and to a lesser extent, Geno, right? Which means that the Will Levis bring back is going to be what we're supposed to play. We're going to think it's going to be under-owned, but it's going to come in at about 29-30% ownership for Will Levis stacks. And we're going to be like, fuck, we thought it was going to be lower than that, but it wasn't. And then we're going to be mad that we did so much Will Levis because he was only $5,200. Are these still 20 rounds? They are. So that's what's going to happen. I don't know anyone else that has given you week 4 DFS breakdown other than me for the 2-game slate. It was me. So when you start hearing that week 4, remember like, oh yeah, Rob told me about this. Okay, we are in. Let's take a look at the draft board here. Zoom in a little bit. Make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. And we have the 10 spot. We're going to be drafting from the 10 spot, which is fine. Do a 10-second draft. We might. If we get through this quick enough, we'll do a 10-second draft. I have to get an entire... this would be a lie. I've written half of it, but I got to get an episode written, and I have to do a voiceover today. And start a video edit. So time is of the essence. But if we get through this quick enough, I'll do one of the 10-second drafts over on Underdog. But I wanted to do one of these because I knew this tournament was failing. I know we can still do the $15 one, but no one else is doing this tournament on stream. I'm just turning into that guy who's like, no one else is doing this. No one else told you to fade this player. No one else did this. When like everyone's talking about it. But literally, I don't think anyone else has streamed. I say that. Someone's definitely streamed one of these, right? But I haven't. The 10-second already filled. Yeah, so we'll do a 15-second if we get mobile. 15-second seemed to be the sweet spot. Desktop 10-second, mobile 15-second was a sweet spot, in my opinion, from playing around with it a little bit. And I also demand that DK makes the draft start in 1 minute, not 2. That is something that DK needs to change. All right, so we know that Josh is in here, and the 9 spot. Who else made it in here? I'm sure there's others. Anyways, we are getting into this. We're going to be looking at the player pool, breaking it down, trying to figure out how a 4-week tournament is insanely different than the 17-week. Like a guy like Ricky Pearsall, undraftable, right? Like just in where he's very much overly injury contingent in the first 4 weeks, I would say. So I think the strategy does change quite a bit for what you're looking for in this tournament. Like I would maybe draft Tyreek Hill in this tournament, or I'm not drafting him in other ones. First 4 weeks of the season, sure. Very different tournament. But things start as normal, which they should, for the most part, in the first few rounds. We see McCaffrey, Hill, Lamb, St. Brown. I'm going to guess Jamar Chase, followed by Justin Jefferson, followed by Bijan, followed by Breece Hall, right? Like that's the way this is going to go. Followed by Puka. Oh, no, Puka goes first, which means Breece Hall is going to go next. And we're just going to grab AJ Brown. We're going to play it safe. I like AJ Brown quite a bit. So we're going to do AJ Brown. Pull the draft board back up and see Garrett Wilson go, which would have been the other pick here for this tournament. So yeah, Harrison Nico combo there. And I think I'm going to go Kyron over everyone else. I do really like Olave. I think for this tournament, I do like Jonathan Taylor. I think I want Kyron, and we're going to do Kyron. I think his workload in the beginning of the season is going to be fine, just completely fine. I do like Achane. That is a great that's a great pick there to pair with Breece Hall. Just an explosion guy there. Achane's probably the other pick here. That's tough. And I wonder if I should have played around with trying to maybe get both. But I like AJ Brown, Kyron. I do like that pairing. So while we're waiting on the clock, I'm just going to look just to put in our mental notes in our head that the Eagles play the Buccaneers in week 4. And that the Rams play the Bears. So 2 fun matchups. Mike Evans should have been a thought there as well, I would say. Not a necessity, but a thought. Let's bring this board back up. But yeah, I'm fine with doing the AJ Brown, Kyron Williams thing here. And we do see running backs going a lot heavier in this draft than we do regular drafts. So you get your normal 3 in the first, which is CMC, Bijan, and Breece Hall. But the second round is very green. We did a Kyron, and then it goes Achane, Taylor, Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Saquon. Rob is asking me about the while we do this draft. Says in tournaments like the Schnauzer, I only look for week 17 correlation because 2 out of 12, 2 out of 10, 2 out of 8. Do you have a take on this? I don't hate looking at week 16 stuff as well, but week 17 is still the way that I prefer to play it. And I think that I'll get enough accidental week 16 correlation to go with my week 17 correlation in those tournaments that I personally am not maxing. Because God, how do you have the time commitment to max those insane tournaments? So I still play through week 17, knowing that I'll probably get enough week 16 correlation there. I think I get more stand dependent in tournaments, in time box tournaments like that. Like I'm like, I want to make sure I am overweight these guys in these tournaments. So it goes stands on a few players. It's not heavy, followed by doing some correlation and stuff like that. So that's where we're at with that. Josh Allen comes off the board at the 305 in this tournament. Going to look at the board here after another pick or two and kind of see what we're looking at, see what we want to do. You know what we're going to do? We're going to draft Devonta Smith. That's going to be our first pick here. We see DJ Moore go. I would have been fine taking DJ Moore as well. Flowers goes on the wrap here. Lamar has already gone. He grabs Kincaid as well. And we're going to be on the clock here in a second. We're just going to take Jalen Hurts. Remember, this is only a 4-week tournament, and not a stack that I like to do in the 17-week stuff, but we get an explosion week from the Eagles or 2 or 3 or 4, and we're in good shape. So let's do this Eagles stack here. Don't have to worry about bye weeks, right? Don't matter. Bye week doesn't hit till week 5 for any team. So we're going to just lean into this Eagles thing for this tournament. Is the way we're going to play it. And I have ideas about it. I have thoughts, but I kind of want to keep some of those thoughts until later in the draft. We see the Mahomes-Kelsey stack happening here. That team looks fun. We see Nick going 0 RB here with 4 straight wide receivers. A couple other all wide receiver teams at the moment, which I think is fine. I don't think it's as necessary in this tournament, but I still think it's viable, right? Like I still think it's a fine strategy in this particular tournament. I passed on the Lamar Andrews stack, eh? It's probably fine. It's probably okay. Rachaad White going in the 4th round in this particular tournament. I think he is a guy that should be pulled up a little bit. I mean, the competition behind him is Bucky Irving. He's going to need to play his way into the rotation. Rachaad White's workload should be heavier during the beginning of the season, theoretically, than mid to late. I like it. So these are the little things that we should be looking to exploit. And I think the room is doing a pretty good job of it overall themselves. I am interested to see how this team shows up, like what ends up happening with this particular team that started Bijan, Gibbs, Laporta, and Etienne. Because I have thoughts about this team. They're not negative, but like I think it has to play itself a very specific way now, which is fine because that's kind of what I'm doing with my team. So totally okay with that. And Kamara coming off the board in the 5th. Gonna see a few more picks, and then we're gonna start looking through our player pool because I want to get ready. Fortunately, that Andrew stack does not come back to you. RIP to that stack. We are on the clock next. See Godwin go, which set up a week 17 thing for us. That's fine because I think that Keenan Allen for the first 4 weeks of the season is an absolute steal here. So we're going to grab Keenan Allen. So totally fine with that. Oh, this is tough because I like Walker here. I really like Jaden Reed as well. We're going to grab Jaden Reed. I think I can navigate this backfield situation. Evan Ingram was a fun pick there too, but I think I want to do some sort of hero RB with this Eagles stack. So we currently have AJ Brown, Kyron, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, Keenan Allen, and Jaden Reed, who, as we all know, Green Bay Packers play the Minnesota Vikings in week 4 because they play the same team in week 4 that they play in week 17. And I think we got another stack, right? Because it wasn't really intentional if we did. I'm trying to remember. But the Rams do play the Bears, so we get a Kyron, Keenan Allen thing that just naturally came to us. So that's fun. So I'm glad we got that. Yeah, I do see you taking James Conner there, and I think this is the perfect tournament to take James Conner. And as much as it hurts my soul to say it, I think it's fine. I think it is fine. I really wish that StreamYard would let me just create a playlist with the music that I have in here instead of having to change the songs on my own. That would be nice. So I have plans on how I want to build this team, and we'll see if you guys would have done the same stuff for what I plan on doing here. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fun team that we're putting together. I think this is a fun tournament. I really love watching the board on this. We're with some pretty smart drafters, it seems like, in here because the ADP is different than the normal tournaments. I do think people are constructing their teams a little better for this particular tournament than I thought they were going to. So kudos to the drafters in here. I do want to follow this team. I think he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do so far. He is the KY Jelly, though, so we will see. We will see what that means. It scares me. Oh, I will not draft Connor in most tournaments. However, this is the one tournament that I might. This structure is one of the few that I might actually draft James Conner. First 4 weeks of the season only. Feels like a good James Conner tournament. I mean, guys like Zamir White feel like they're even more important in these tournaments than they will be later. I think we're gonna grab Ramondre. I think, who do they play in week 4? Just out of curiosity. 49ers. Ugh. Well, that's fine. Just kind of scrolling through some names. Jerome Ford being up higher is fun. Let's grab Xavier Worthy. I think that he might be slightly mispriced. If we do get that, so I'm not worried about the Rasheed Rice suspension in other tournaments, but like a two-game suspension in this one is a little more massive. Losing out on him those first 2 weeks, and if Worthy can come in the first few weeks and put up a solid game, then great. I am totally fine with you winning all the money on real time if it's with James Conner. We're gonna hope that when you win all the money that you buy a new keyboard that doesn't keep caps lock on. So we're gonna pray that you become worthy enough to wealthy enough to shut that caps lock off. You're just saying names now in the chat. You're just saying names, and are you being contest specific, or are you just saying names to say names? Anyways, let's continue. All right, let's look. We see a little bit of a quarterback run happening here. And, big quarterback run happening here in this 8th round with Goff, Burrow, Murray, and Jordan Love going off the board. So, a little intriguing. That's where we're getting a quarterback run, specifically because this is where that running back run usually starts. But we're okay with it. We're okay with it. You're saying Hollywood over Worthy, but the price is much higher for Hollywood. Hollywood went, where did Hollywood go? 4th round? 5th round versus 8th round? Victor's asking what we're betting on in baseball. White Sox first 5 innings minus 0.5 is something I'm doing. Victor, sell me on the Phillies today because their line is crazy and half their lineup is out. All right. I'm going to make a rule in chat that going forward, I will not acknowledge consistent caps lock. So on real time, thank you for contributing, but we will, until you shut that caps lock off, bro, I am not going to acknowledge. All right. We're going to take Njoku here. You son of a bitch. I was going to double tap tight end and I was going to grab Goddard and just get this full Eagle stack. Son of a bitch. That is fine. That is fine. Let's grab B-Rob and then let's look at our roster and see what we're thinking through it. So we got a 1-3-5-1 build right now. We have AJ Brown, Kyron, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts. So we got that full Eagle stack. We have Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, Ramondre Stevenson, Xavier Worthy, David Njoku, and Brian Robinson. Beaver does the double tap on tight ends, which is what we were going to do. We were going to double tap Njoku and Goddard, and he ends up double tapping Bowers and Goddard. So that's fine. I knew it was a risk. Maybe I should have just taken Goddard and gone with that full Eagles onslaught for this tournament. Maybe the way to play it, but I'm fine with it just being Smith. It's not like a huge deal. I'll take Njoku. I think his single game upside is higher anyways. So totally fine with that. Cleveland is playing the Raiders in week 4, right? So that is what we're looking at. Back to baseball for a second. Let me see what else I have. I haven't bet because I'm waiting to see if I get any offers from DK. So yeah, I'm looking at Braves -1.5, and I got Tampa -0.5 first 5 innings as well in my queue. I'm still working my way through it on what I want to do. So those are what I'm working with. Oh, okay. All right, Victor. Are you just, we'll stop baseball talk in a second, but Victor, are you just money lining Philly? Because that money line's like -2 something. Or are you taking them at -1.5? Got a running back run happening here again, where we see Zeke, Spears, Eckler, Hubbard, Edwards, and Chase Brown all go in a row. Let's go back to 3 running back drafter, where he went Bijan, Gibbs, Laporta, Etienne. Then he comes McLaurin, Watson, Zamir White. This is a problem to me. This is where he messes this team up. Goff, Jaden Daniels, Jacoby Myers. If I'm in this particular tournament for sure, if my move is to take Bijan, Gibbs, Etienne, no more RBs for me. Dunzo. And if I do take a 4th, it's not in the 7th round, right? So that's what I'm always watching for, to see how people are constructing their 3 early RB teams, and I just wouldn't do that in this tournament. That's how I would be playing those 3 RB teams, which I think are viable in this tournament. Definitely. But I think if I'm playing them, I'm playing them in very specific ways. Oh, being done with RBs now, I am the KY is in the chat. It is nice, but I just think that you were done before. And I know everyone has different perceptions of being done. I don't think it's a bad team overall. I just think that the Zamir White pick is unneeded there. I think you could have been done with 3, and then if you wanted to tack on a flyer, sure. But remember, it's only you're only playing 4 games, 4 weeks here. Let's grab Gabe. Let's grab Josh Downs. I want to make sure I get Downs on this team. AD Mitchell coming in as a rookie. I already like Downs over AD Mitchell anyways. I think I want him there. We do see Rashee Rice falling heavily falling here. Gonna be on the clock here in 2 picks. Let's see Charbonnet go. We're going to grab Cole Kmet. We're going to get our second tight end here. That goes into our little Chicago stack that we have going on. So let's play it that way. We'll have Njoku and Kmet as tight ends right now. I definitely see that in like a regular tournament, KY, but Am I taking an 11th wide receiver if I only take 3 RBs? With a 20 round, maybe. Again, I just don't think. I don't think if I have those 3 running backs, if I'd probably take a 4th, I just wouldn't do it this early, right? I'd rather have, Lad McConkey, Jordan Addison, any of these wide receivers to pair with McLaurin and Watson in this tournament than grabbing Zamir, who when are you hoping Zamir hits your lineup? 1 week, right? Because it's only a 4-week tournament. You're really looking for like crazy output from these 3 guys. So I'd be looking to fill another position. It doesn't have to be quarterback. You were actually the next one to take the quarterback, but I would much rather have Lad McConkey or Jordan Addison on this team, push down to here, get a Rico Dowdle, a Ty Chandler, or a Zach Charbonnet if I'm going to grab my 4th. So that's what I would be looking at, probably, for me. I don't think it's that huge of a deal, right? Like, I'm not saying that your team is throw it out, but that's the way I would play it. Especially like you grabbed Laporta here, right? And you grabbed Goff, so instead of Zamir White, even grabbing, I don't know, where'd he go? Where did he get drafted? Maybe I'm just making things up. You wouldn't have been able to grab him. He went beforehand. But if he were to fall, and now we're going complete hypotheticals, getting Jameson Williams to do a double with Goff instead of White in the future, which will fall in some drafts. So that's just the stuff I'd be looking for. That is the way I would be playing those things. All right. A 1-3-6-2 build currently for us. Start looking at players. We're going to be on the clock here in a couple picks. What do we like here? Man. Not a ton. Very interesting. It's very interesting when you try to start putting this through the lens of being only 4 weeks. I do think that round 13 Rashee Rice is worth taking the risk now. We play on our KC situation here. We get 2 of the KC guys. If we luck out, Rashee Rice doesn't get suspended this year, we're in great shape. In round 13, I'm willing to make that bet. And I think another great one to take here is let's just play on our Cleveland thing. And you might be thinking Deshaun Watson. The answer is no. Let's grab Donta Foreman as we try to figure out what's going on with Nick Chubb in round 14. So we'll grab him as our 4th RB with a 1-4-7-2 build right now. Let's go through the team one more time before we read it out at the end. A.J. Brown, Kyron Williams, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, Ramondre Stevenson, Xavier Worthy, David Njoku, Brian Robinson, Josh Downs, Cole Kmet, Rashee Rice, Donta Foreman. So we are trying to do a lot more team stacking, or at least I'm trying to do a lot more team stacking in this tournament. So we have Eagles going on. We have a Chicago stack with Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet. We also have the KC, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice. And did we have one more? We have Njoku and Donta Foreman for Cleveland. So just doing some team stacking in this. I missed your... Oh, there it is. You need to send after you're drafting. So usually send like once a day, right? Like that's what I would do, or once every 2 days. in order for it to receive your teams. So send it, if you want to send it after every team, you can. But I usually do it like once or twice every few days. All right, we are in round 14 of this draft. Getting ready to go to round 15 again. If you're just tuning in, which understandable because it's Sunday morning, we're doing a draft on Draftkings that is for only the first 4 weeks of the season. So the first 2 weeks is your quote unquote regular season, makes up about 33% of your season. After those first 2 weeks, you get thrown into a playoff bracket. And from round 3, you move to week 4, which is the finals. So each week is very, very crucial, which is why I'm doing some of this team stacking instead, because if we have the right teams that hit, we're going to be doing a lot better, which is like, it's just so simple, right? Simplified talk, but it is what it is, man. And I'm doing it with some teams that I believe in, which is Philly, Kansas City, right now, Cleveland to some extent, I believe in, and also Chicago. So we did Chicago with Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. Why am I not showing the Spike Week tools to show weeks 2, 3, and 4? Good question. Good question. Because I'm going to be honest, I wasn't sure if I should have talked to Hacker first. I wasn't sure if that was something that we actually created. But knowing Hacker, he did. And I probably should be. Probably a gigantic mistake on my part. All right, we are on the clock here. Let's grab... Oh, it's gross, huh? Grab a third tight end here. Oh, this tournament in particular gets really tough around here. Let's grab Senate for a third and final tight end. Add on to our Washington build. Just trying to see guys that have upside right away in this tournament. Let's grab Troy Franklin. I think has some potential to just be out there day one. But we are really clicking around. Let's go to contest real quick. I think I have to update my draft hacker. I haven't been around the last week, so that might be something I need to do. All right, let's go back to the contest. I'll talk to Hacker. If we do one of these contests again, I'll make sure that we're set up on that. Let's take a look at this board, though. This is where this tournament in particular is going to get really, really difficult. Right? Because now this is usually where I'm shooting for upside guys, not floor guys. And the upside thesis is generally who are guys that can come on later in the season and sort of give me that mid to late season push. And mid to late season is week 2 and 3. And end of season is week 4. So we are really like wincing and like, I mean, there's still some guys that are fine. Like you can take your Eli Mitchells for sure, which I would have done here. It was a thought process. It was a thought. And you just hope for the best. Contingent upside, yada, yada, yada. Zach Ertz is an interesting click for this tournament. Where we shot upside, Zach Ertz might be the play from the Washington tight end perspective in this tournament. Could be a mistake from us. But I think I'm covered enough with Komet and Njoku that I'm okay with just betting on Sinnott being the week 1 starter somehow. These are the guys that get real interesting down here. Sam Darnold, way more viable in this tournament than he is in any other tournament, right? So Sam Darnold might actually be going too low in this particular tournament. Haven't thought through that enough, but I know it's a definite possibility. Russ Wilson, obviously more valuable in this tournament. Daniel Jones, I think, is probably severely undervalued in this tournament. Something to think of. We are going to be on the clock here in a second. And we got to figure this out. We got to figure out what we want to do here. Shit. Let's cue Bucky Irving. Yeah, don't. Oh, yeah, there's Taysom Hill as a QB right there. Don't love it. I think we're going to grab Bucky Irving. Yeah. We're at a 1583 build right now. I think I'm going to make the grossest click in the history of Spike Week in a second. Never mind. Eric finds a guy that's real gross to click every year, so it won't be the grossest click in Spike Week history. But let's grab... I don't want to. I already regret it. We're going to grab Dameon Pierce. I already regret it. Never doing that again. I don't care what tournament it is. Oh, Brissett. Great pick. Great pick. I think he's hugely viable in this tournament. Definitely a guy I'd be looking for here. If I didn't grab Jalen Hurts, and if it's not painfully obvious at this point, we're solo QBing this team. 4-week season, Jalen Hurts, I see no need where I double stack him, go full Eagles. Wanted to get Goddard as well, didn't end up getting him. I see no reason to grab a second quarterback with this team, so we're not gonna. Not going to. Josh says that Odell is his sleeper. Well, he's definitely probably going to be sleeping. I don't know if it'll be in Miami. I mean, does he make the team? Probably, I guess. Is he viable? Who knows? Two-hole is just onslaughting tight end over there. 4 straight tight end picks from that two-hole with Chig, Jelani Woods, Zach Ertz, and Tyler Kraft. Just searching for touchdowns from the tight end position there. Which might be fine in this tournament, to be completely honest. As long as he punted tight end elsewhere, which he did. So that's probably more than fine, to be honest. All right, if we finish this draft by, which we will, by 11, we'll jump into one of those underdog tournaments. We'll jump into it. 15 seconds are left, I think you guys said. We can knock out one of those real quick. I feel like I should have taken CEH over Dameon Pierce. I feel like that's a huge mistake on my part. I just don't like Dameon Pierce at all this year. ATX says he's got a lot of correlation, but doesn't love his team. Which underdog tourney? The 15-second shot clock one, whichever one that is. We're going to be up here in a second. You're on the clock. Getting gross. Let's grab Will Shipley just in case something happens to Saquon during training camp, I guess. We'll take June Hero, Chase Claypool as well. I guess. I don't love it. Let's just star him and let's just look through. The wide receiver landscape. Could do Calvin Austin. Okay, let's take Calvin Austin. He's gotten a little bit of camp hype. Maybe he gets a little more run in the beginning of the season to try to hold on to the job. That's going to do it for this team. Let's read through it, shall we? So let's read through it from the draft board. We went A.J. Brown, Kyron Williams, Devonta Smith, Jalen Hurts, so full Eagles. Keenan Allen, Jaden Reed, Ramondre, Xavier Worthy, David Njoku, Brian Robinson Jr., Josh Downs, Cole Kmet, Rashee Rice, Donta Foreman, Ben Sinnott, Troy Franklin, Bucky Irvin, Damian Pierce, Will Shipley, Calvin Austin. And we went a 3-5-9-3 build here, right? And no, we didn't. What am I talking about? We went on 1-7-9-3 build here. I was like three. I was like, I have one quarterback. 1-7-9-3, which I am fine with for this tournament. Taking just Jalen Hurts, expecting him to be a QB1 through the first 4 weeks. AJ Brown had the stretch of 150 receiving yard games through like 5 games or something like that. Can get that again. Still have some viability with Devonta Smith. Went full Eagles. We got a lot of team correlation with this one. We got some week 4 correlation. A lot of fun this draft. Let's jump over real quick. We'll knock out an underdog. We'll knock out an underdog draft as well. Let's go to the NFL tab here. Scroll over to the mini schnauzer with the 15-second shot clock. So we're going to do the mini schnauzer 4. We'll jump into this. And we need 6 people, 5 people. I'm sure this will fill much faster than the last tournament did. So if we want to do this, we'll do this. Maybe we'll get an earlier draft slot. And we get the 101. What do you guys want to do in this tournament? You guys want to get wild? Do we want to have some fun in this tournament? I've only done a few of the 15-second ones. One of the things I realized while doing the 10-second one is how people were just drafting by ADP, and I think some of that might have been auto drafting. But I think just your brain, especially if you're doing it on your phone, it's a lot harder to scroll down, evaluate, all that stuff. We're going to make our pick, and then I'm going to log into the tools so that we can use the tools on this as well. And we're on the clock, and let's just do it. Let's just grab Bijan at the 101. Sign into our tool real quick. Get back into this tournament. Try not to cough all up in your grills. And get back into it. Do one more of these mini schnauzers. And we went Bijan 101 in this tournament. Oh, we do see Puka come up to the 6. That's a little different. Do love these faster drafts. They are fun. And I feel like it is such an advantage to have the 1 or the 12 spot, or like the 2 or 11 in these tournaments. Being in the middle in these tournaments is a lot tougher. Being able to anticipate and just have 2 picks in mind for the turns is just so much easier in these. All right, we'll be on the clock here in a second. We're going to start looking probably a little bit earlier just to be ready. Let's grab neighbors and let's do another Devonta Smith team. Do a neighbors Devonta Smith build to go with Bijan, which I'm fine with. I was debating on just going full send and doing Achan and Kyron and just grabbing 1 late RB to go with that. Because I believe 2 of them have the same bye week. I think 2 of them are like bye week 6 or something like that. So that was a thought, but I think we'll just go conventional hero RB at the moment. Do you see Achan go mid-third to the Jamar Chase Devontae Adams team, which is definitely fine. Will be interesting to see if we get the full send here with Brees, Barkley, Kyron. Oh, we get the full send, but they bypass Kyron and go Derrick Henry to run a Brees, Saquon, Derrick Henry build. And then Kyron goes off the board right after that. On real time was not playing around with that Jalen Hurts pick. No badge here. These are the little things that you want to be cognizant of. There's probably a 0%. I don't want to say 0%, just a very low percentage that either of these guys are grabbing Jalen Hurts at this 3-4 turn, like a very, very low percentage. So instead of grabbing Jalen Hurts right away, let's see who his second pick is. The 2v2, right, is Jalen Hurts and Travis. I guess if you wanted to go Travis Etienne, but for me, it would have been, I'd rather would have had Diggs, Dell, Kirk, and make sure I get Hurts. And even if you want Etienne, grabbing him first, as he's the next running back off the board, probably makes a little bit more sense. So those are the little things we want to be cognizant of when we're drafting, right? Becomes drafting 101 once you're used to it, but until you make the mistakes. And I made this mistake a few weeks ago by not paying attention. And I clicked the button on somebody, and as soon as I saw the next guy's team in the 12 or the 1 hole, I was like, shit, I just did this wrong, and they made me pay for it. And I deserved to pay for it because I screwed up. That was 100% on me. All right, we see Mahomes go. I think that's fine. I think we'll grab. You guys want to bully this? Do we just want to do a fun build here? Grab McBride. Grab Mark Andrews. Just bully the shit out of this team. Hells yeah. Let's have fun. It's a $3 tournament. My other play there would have been pulling Jaden Reed up probably. But let's go. I haven't done like a proper bully tight end build in a while. So let's do it with Trey McBride and Mark Andrews. Let's see what we can make out of this. These are fun tournaments to sharpen those builds that you want to build, that you want to do that are a little bit, slightly unconventional, I'll say. I don't think that bully tight end is overly unconventional this year, but doing it with McBride and Andrews is fun, as it's my two favorite tight ends in the elite class. So I get both of my favorite tight ends. We get to have some fun with it, and I'm cool with doing a few of these teams. Not doing a ton, but if we're going to do them, let's see how they turn out in this $3 tournament to see if we want to put them in a $25 tournament or a $100 tournament, right? See, the 9 hole goes with Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson for a double elite QB build. Be fun to sort of keep an eye on that one, see how that team turns out. I really wish there was a tight end that you could pair with Anthony Richardson. I think that just makes doing anything with Richardson a little bit harder. I like to have that tight end fallback on some of the guys. Obviously, not everyone's like that because of the elite tight ends. But even Josh Allen, I know, like, if I have to break glass in case of emergency, I have Dawson Knox in my back pocket. Usually in the 18th round. Almost all the time. If I don't get Kincaid with him. So, like doing stuff like that. Ugh, gotta get ready to write. Get in the mindset. Oh, we're on the clock. Shit, wasn't paying attention. Let's grab Lad. Lad's fun. And I'm trying to make sure that I mix in a little more Christian Watson. I'd rather have Brian Thomas here, but I want a little bit more Christian Watson than I have. I've been thinking through the Green Bay tight ends. We were talking about tight ends for too long. The Green Bay wide receivers. I've been thinking through them a little bit more, and I know that I want to be heavily overweight Jaden Reed. He's the main way I want to play it, but I think I also want to make sure that I'm pretty flat across Watson, Dobbs, which I have not been drafting, who I want to make sure I get up to around that 8%. And I even want close to 8% on Wicks. And the way to play that is, and I'm drafting Musgrave too. So the way to play it is I want to make sure I'm getting a lot of doubles with Jaden Reed on all the other guys, but making sure I get like couple Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs doubles in tournaments across the board. Doing the back end with Wicks and Dobbs with Love. So I'll be overweight Jordan Love because of it. I know that. And I've noticed there's quarterbacks that I'm going to be underweight on because I'm not drafting particular guys, right? So Tua, I'm going to be heavily underweight on because I'm not drafting Tyreek Hill in tournaments, which means I can only really pair him with Waddle So my Tua exposure is going to be very low based on that. So on the flip side, I need to make sure if I'm taking those stances, when I'm taking the Green Bay stance, making sure that I'm overweight Jordan Love. Houston's a way that I need to start making sure that I have enough Stroud. I haven't really gauged my Stroud ownership yet, but I need to look at that and make sure that I am drafting enough of him. I could be overweight. I could just look right now, couldn't I? We'll look through. I'll just do a quick phone search just to make this nice and simple. Under my completed, it's over 100 teams. Stroud, I'm sitting at. Where is he? Can't find him. Not good. We'll look after this draft. That might be concerning. I might have just overlooked him too. I have just not seen him. All right, so after saying what we said, let's grab Jordan Love to go with Christian Watson. And could do the Dobbs double. Let's play it through Pollard, though. Let's grab Pollard. Pull the board back up. Look at our CJ Stroud ownership. See what we're doing there. What's going on, Olaf? Stroud's at 3% for me, and I don't have him in a BBM team, so that is a concern. All right. I did not realize I had no Stroud. I'm only at 30 something drafts in Best Ball Mania, so that is like a mental note I just made, especially with him falling right now. Making sure I get some more Stroud teams is probably a concern. That needs to be rectified, but we need to be on top of these things. And Stroud might be first it was price, right? His price was too high relative to what we think he's going to do as a performer, like in terms of not running and stuff like that. He was going around some of the very elite fantasy production quarterbacks. Now that he's dropped a little bit, and I actually don't think it should matter, to be honest, like the price is the price kind of thing with Stroud. I think my bigger problem was not understanding that once I drafted Nico or Diggs or Tank, a lot of times you're not drafting one of the others, and the double stack is always just through Schultz, and just being like, I'll do that later, right? Pushing that a little too much. So I think that's probably what happened there. Who do we have? Neighbors, Devonta Smith. Yeah, definitely going to change the song. Pull the board back up for a second. I'm trying to make sure I have enough Judy, so let's do that. And trying to make sure my downs exposure is up. Actually, let's grab Zeke. I know it's gross. Don't look at it. Block your ears, block your eyes, hide the children. Don't let them know, but we just drafted Zeke. Get the week 17 correlation. The 15 seconds obviously makes the draft go much faster, but it doesn't feel it, especially when you're on the end. It doesn't feel like I'm being rushed at all. I think 15 seconds, excuse me, perhaps a bit tired. I think 15 seconds is the sweet spot. I think I really like 15 seconds. I think I would really like a Dunkin' Donuts refresher right now. Sorry, a redacted refresher right now since they don't sponsor the show. But the strawberry lemonade one is really good. Let me know in the comments your favorite refresher. And RIP to you, to those of you who don't have refreshers, because how do you live? How are you alive on Sunday, June 30th, 2024, if you don't have access to a refresher? How is your life lifing? How is your life lifing without a refresher, is what I will say. If you take nothing else away from this draft stream, that is what I want you to take away, is figuring out how your life is lifing without being able to drink a nice cold refresher. Whether you do it with the lemonade, whether you do it with the green tea, not for me to say. That's for you to make the choice on. But I prefer the strawberry one. The mango one is quite good as well. And I have not tried watermelon kiwi. I'm going to let you guys in on a little bit of a hot take that I have. Not a watermelon guy. Don't care for regular watermelon too much. Now, stuff that is flavored watermelon is real hit or miss with me. Like Sour Patch Kids watermelon. Excellent. Excellent choice. Excellent candy. One of the things I never think of buying, but when it's around, I'm like, oh, no, what do we have here? I think I'll have one of these. Jalen Poke seems fun. Some week 17 correlation. Let's do that. And what else do we want to do? Don't need tight ends, huh? Oh, we need to pick quick, huh? We bought the backfield. Go tell everyone I'm dumb. We bought a backfield. We panicked a little bit, and we bought the Atlanta backfield. Is what we did. Probably not great, but I'm okay with it. We will live. We're making sure we're getting that Atlanta backfield. We can spin it. No matter what happens, we will have the RB in Atlanta until Khalil Herbert signs there after the Bijan injury in week 5. Actually, I'm not even going to say that, because if there's a Bijan injury, I'm not watching football for the rest of the season. I'm going to vomit profusely. Do you know how much I wanted to vomit during the J.K. Dobbins injury last year in week 1? Watching a guy that you're before your eyes, seeing that you were 100% right, just absolutely smashing in week 1. Walk off the field and you know it's a season ender, possible career ender. That was not fun. Week 1. Week 1. It was so gross. Just so goddamn gross. Doesn't matter now, though, does it? We still had, I think we eked out a slight profit in best ball last year, which is good. It's going to be nice to eke out a slight profit in best ball after week 4 when we win that DK $8 tournament. Might as well win this one, too, with 2 Atlanta running backs. How many people would be so upset if I... Can you believe he drafted Bijan and Tyler Algier and won the tournament? What a luck box. What an absolute luck box. Yeah, Dobbins hurt. Real time hurt Cole as well. But directionally right. Looked like an absolute smash out of the gate. Just absolute smash. We got a 1-4-6-2 build at the moment. Let's grab Bucky Irving. cry a bit as we try to figure out our next move. Let's grab Marvin Mims, a guy that we don't have with a lot of our early round picks based on our little draft hacker here. Leaves us some late outs as well. So we'll do that. Ugh. Man, holiday coming up this week, huh? 4th of July for those of us here in America. We're in the American cutoff here. Excited to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So that's pretty good. From work, do some drafting, do some hanging out. When I say off from work, I will still be working on everything else that I work on, but just be able to do it from home the entire day. So hopefully you guys have either you have great plans lined up or no plans lined up. No plans is just as good. Sometimes no plans is better. Sometimes dead is better. Who knows what movie that's from? Does anyone know what movie that quote's from? Yeah, got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of best ball stuff coming up in the next 2 months, which goes right into spooky season for me, which is a very, very big year for me this year. Got our first live show for that, not for Spike Week, but for the spooky stuff. So our first ticketed live event, which is amazing. Just can't believe that is a thing that we're doing. Look at ATX nailing it. Nice job, ATX. Nailing my horror movie trivia over on the Spike Week stream. Cameron came in, hit it as well. It was, in fact, Pet Sematary. Let's grab Drake May. And I've been trying to grab more Roshan Johnson as well. So let's grab those two guys. Throw them both in the queue. Draft some Roshan as well. ATX, I am also old. So don't let it get to you. I rewatched that movie last year. I think we reviewed it last year. Rewatched the original Pet Sematary. Still love the character. God, is it Fred? I can't remember his name. The older guy who puts on that thick Maine accent. You don't want to go down that roads. Them roads is cursed. There's a death curse. Also one of my favorite episodes of South Park when that guy just shows up for no reason in the Aspen episode. That's how you know I'm old, because that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite South Park episodes. Yeah, Gage the Kid was terrifying. The newer version wasn't bad, and I won't spoil it, but they made some changes that I thought were good, but I thought the movie overall was dull. I'll leave it at that, just because this isn't a movie review channel and I don't want to spoil it. But I thought that they made some interesting choices, and it just still fell a bit flat, if I remember correctly. That first movie it's good if you watched it when it came out. I don't know if it holds up. I don't know if somebody that was born 15 years after it came out could watch it and be like, this movie's good. It is very early 90s. Like, it really has that feeling. And you just watch it like, ugh. Yeah. That's kind of what you do. Deludo wants me to peep his squad. After we make our last pick, we'll gander through it. Do you want me to be nice? Do you want me to sauce? I don't know if I'm in the mood to sauce today. 2672. Let's grab another wideout. God, there he is. We'll grab Malik Washington. At least have a fun pick here. Let's find it. That is the mini Schnauzer 4 that we just drafted. DeLudo wants me to... Let's go over our team real quick, and then we'll go over DeLudo's team. So we went with Jordan Love and Drake May at quarterback, Bijan, Tony Pollard, Zeke Elliott, Tyler Algier, Bucky Irving, Roshan Johnson at running back, Malik Neighbors, Devonta Smith, Lad McConkey, Christian Watson, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Polk, Marvin Mims, Malik Washington, and Trey McBride, Mark Andrews for a bully tight end. Not my favorite squad that we've ever drafted. It's fine. I think it's fine. DeLudo wants to look at his team. He's the one that went with the double elite QB. So he got Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson. He's got Kyron, Trey Benson. He bought the Rams backfield, which is an interesting one. Ray Davis, Braylon Allen. I don't hate it. It feels... This is tough. Because I feel like I don't hate it, but I feel like it's missing an RB. Kinda. You know what I mean? Wide receiver is Amon-Ra, Drake London, Keon Coleman, Josh Downs, Ricky Pearsall, Jermaine Burton, Michael Wilson, Rondell Moore. Tight end is Kittle, Bowers, Jelani Woods. I don't know if I would attack Jelani Woods onto this team. It's like not the worst. I think I would have just played it through Kittle and Bowers, and I might have grabbed a late flyer running back. I just feel like it's missing a running back, personally. Because I feel like you have to count Kyron and Blake as one when you do stuff like this, which is kind of what I did. And so now it feels like you have 5 running backs instead of 4 instead of 5. So I think I would have played it that way and maybe gotten one more. I love Trey Benson though. I don't know. I think it's fine. I just think that Jelani would have been our running back for me. I have not went back ATX and watched the original Children of the Corn, but what I can say is I watched the newest one that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it might have been one of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. And that has bad graphics from 2021. So, on real time, is that your name on here? Give me your name quickly. Oh, yep, it is. Let's go through this team. So you went with Hurts and Bryce Young. My scroll button doesn't want to work. JT, Travis Etienne, Joe Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Jonathan Brooks, and Chuba. I have thoughts about this in a second. AJ Brown, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Cooks, Dontavian Wicks, Xavier Leggett, Wandale, DJ Chark, Chase Claypool, Freiermuth, and Jonnu as your tight ends. You really punted wide receiver, which if that's the build you're going for, that's fine. I personally, if I'm getting Taylor, Etienne, Mixon, Walker, that's it for me. However, doing Brooks Hubbard, I don't think is terrible because, again, I'm counting those as one back. But I think I leave this at 4 running backs. If I'm investing that draft capital, for me personally, I'm just more comfortable grabbing Taylor, Etienne, Mixon, Kenneth Walker. I don't know when I'm looking for Carolina. I guess Jonathan Brooks late. So this is a backfield that I probably wouldn't buy just because of the team constructed around it. Not that I would never do Jonathan Brooks and Chuba. I think that's fine, but I wouldn't do it for this particular team personally. But that's just me. But you do get that Carolina build. You got like sort of a full Carolina onslaught. You get that Eagle stack, which I do like. Tight end is fine. I've come around a lot on Pat Freiermuth. 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, this feels a little thin at tight end with just these two. But I've been coming around on Freiermuth, so I think that is okay. I just think that I would have changed Brooks out for Brooks and Hubbard out if this is how we're playing wide receiver. This team probably would have had 10 wide receivers for me or 9 wide receivers, and I still could have tacked on a third tight end. Overall, fine. But that's just if I'm going to invest that capital in running backs, I'm stopping at 4, personally. But that's going to do it for us this week. These Sunday streams are a ton of fun. I really enjoyed doing them. Make sure that you press subscribe, all the fun stuff, right? Until next Sunday, maybe this week. We'll see what we got going on this week. But until next Sunday, we will catch you later. Peace. Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.